I want to talk about authority for a second because this is a really, really important concept in Christian tradition. And I think in a lot of ways that modern people, especially modern Orthodox people talking on the internet, we misuse and misunderstand probably most of the time the idea of authority in the Orthodox Church. So when speaking about authority, of course, we begin with Christ and the authority that he has, the authority that he takes back to himself as he's about to ascend into heaven. As he said, all authority in heaven and earth has been given to me. Go therefore. So he sends the apostles out. He delegates to them some of this authority. And so this is where we have the concept of apostolic succession. And we have bishops, right, who are successors of the apostles. And they are the people that are part of the church community here in this life that we are to be obedient to. Now, it's interesting that a lot of people, they love the idea of authority within the church. And yet when a bishop says something that they disagree with, he has no authority to that, right? It's funny. I sometimes joke that in orthodoxy on the internet, everyone is a bishop except the bishops. They don't have any authority, and yet they do. They do. There's no getting around that. I mean, I think, for instance, about the very strong language of Saint Ignatius of Antioch, where he says, anyone who does anything apart from the bishop is a worshiper of the devil. That's pretty strong language. I don't usually put that into sermons, but you can see what he means. And you can't get away from the fact that bishops have authority within the Orthodox Church. But that authority is not absolute. Bishops don't have the authority to alter the Orthodox faith. They don't have the authority to tell us to sin, right? They don't have that authority. No one does. No one can do that, right? Now, does that mean that it is my job to judge them and to determine for myself what the Orthodox faith is and how and when an Orthodox bishop is aligning according to what I think he should be doing? No, it does not mean that. It does not mean that. But if it's a question of authority between me and my bishop, it's the bishop who wins because he's the one who actually has the authority, not me. Now, if I disagree with him in a profound way, let's say my bishop tells me to sin, then what I have to do, since I can't sin, I'm not supposed to sin, is say, know your eminence, know your grace, and then accept whatever consequences come. And for me as a priest, that could be deposition. I could be defrocked. I could be removed from the priesthood, and accept that. That's the example of the saints, right? When they have to disagree with their bishop in a way that is going to come to a head like that, then they accept the consequences. They don't complain forever about whatever happened to them, like they're being martyred or whatever. Maybe they are being martyred, but they don't complain about it. The martyrs don't complain about being martyred. Why are you doing this to me? Right? Indeed, actually, they look upon it generally as a blessing from God to be martyred. That's just the way that it is. But how do you know that something is orthodox or compatible with the Orthodox faith? The first question, especially if you're new, and let's be honest, a lot of people talking about Orthodox Christianity on the internet are new. They are what the apostles call neophytes. They're new. The first question is, am I being obedient to the God-given authority of my church? I know that's uncomfortable, especially for Americans. We don't like obedience. We don't like it. Our country was not founded that way. It was founded with the opposite, honestly. Right? We don't like obedience. We obey only ourselves, right? Am I being obedient to the God-given authority over me? Scripture says we should. The saints say we should, right? It's bolstered everywhere in the Orthodox tradition. It's really, really there. You don't have to go looking for this. You don't. If you're going to decide not to do it, that means you're ignoring a huge amount of Orthodox tradition to say, no, I don't need to be obedient. That is not Orthodox, to just reject obedience or to question it every single time. Like if I have to question every single decision my bishop makes or every single command that he gives me, that is not obedience. It's not obedience when I only follow my own will. It's just not. Okay? It's not, right? Am I being obedient? And more broadly, not just obedience to the bishops, but obedience to and harmony with the whole of the Orthodox tradition. The whole of the Orthodox tradition. That especially means the scriptures, but it also means a lot of other things as well, right? The decisions of the ecumenical councils, the writings of the church fathers, liturgical services. But it also means harmony with my community, with my parish community. Am I in harmony with them? Am I living the life together with them? That doesn't mean that every single person in that community is going to be doing exactly the same things, but it does mean that we're doing this together and we're in harmony with each other. Okay? There's not, Orthodox Christianity is not something that's just me and Jesus or me and the ecumenical councils or whatever. It's not. It's just not, right? It's in harmony with the community. So if what I want to do is damaging the harmony of my community, damaging the unity of the church, I have a problem. I am a problem if that's what I'm doing. That's not how this works. That's not the way that the Orthodox Christian tradition works.